My apologies, guys. I totally forgot to film it, but what I did was I removed the entire internal filtration system on the tank, and we're going to set up a sump because it's just much more ideal. Of course, you can get away with an all-in-one setup, but I'm just a sump guy. I got experience in the hobby, so I don't need an all-beginner, all-in-one system. I'm getting a sump so I can put the protein skimmer and run the recirculating scrubber that I have. That way my pH is under control, and it's just much more convenient to have a sump. So this is the tool you use now at this point to remove the remaining silicone, and it's that easy. You see that? Alright, so the first thing we do is we take out all the excess junk that was peeled off with the straight razor. And now the next step is I have the whatchamacall attachment on the sink where I could pump water in or take water out of the tank. I forget what it's called. It's there's a word for it. I'll post it underneath. But what you do is use water with a nice clean rag, and you clean the glass and clean the whole tank out. Then you remove all the excess water, so all that's left is the silicone. And then once the silicone is left by itself, you use a brand new blade on a straight razor, and this peels right off. 1, 2, 3. So now that the tank is clean, I just dried it off with a terry cloth towel. All right, so the whole key with this is so you don't scratch the glass. You want to make sure that there's nothing on the glass except for the residue of the silicone. All right, and now with the straight razor, I'm going to change this to a brand new blade so there's no nicks in it. And then nice and easy, we just shave down the excess silicone that's on there, and the tank will be like brand new, like a brand new cube with no filtration.
You are lucky.
Well, you see, it's that easy, people. It's that easy. Not a drop on there. The key is making sure the glass is clean, because if you don't, you can scratch it. So you want to make sure you're using a new blade. And you see how easy that comes off? There's nothing on there at all. Okay, let's take a look. You can see, totally clean. No scratches whatsoever. And that's the trick. The trick is you got to make sure that the glass is clean. You have a new blade. That way there's nothing that could get between the blade and the glass. Okay, now ready for painting. So as you see, I taped off all the edges with masking tape, all 4, including the top edge, which you see this is the inside of the tank. This top rear edge is important because you don't want to get any paint on there. It looks sloppy when you're looking at the tank from the front, so you want to keep that edge clean too. You don't want to get any paint on there. So now that this is all taped off, I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol with paper towel. Just clean all the oil off the surface of the glass. And we are using Rust-Oleum. So now in high speed, you see me cleaning the glass off. I'm going to start applying the paint. It's very basic, very simple. Use the roller, nice even strokes, and that's all there is to it. At this point, I'm just drilling the tank out, so I wanted to show you me just starting to drill, getting it nice groove going. And there's plenty of videos on drilling tanks out, so I'm not going to go through too much of this. But that was the next step, to drill the tank out, and then we get to the plumbing. Alright, for the return, I'm going to show you guys a trick. I don't know if any of you guys ever played pool before, but kind of similar to how you would hold a pool cue. Alright, you basically groove the drill bit between your fingers like this. You can use it as a guide, alright? And when you do that, what you do is you set the groove. Now, of course, this is a freehand style of doing it, and it's not as easy as if you were going to use a guide or something of that sort. But it could be done. It's very easy, and I'm going to just show you guys real quick. This is roughly where I want the overflow to be. It doesn't have to be an exact measurement like this. This I had to set for the water level and everything like that. This is just going to be in this general area, and right here is just about good. So I cut my 2 fingers together. so as you see, I got the groove now. Now it just falls right in the groove when you drill. It's always good practice to make sure you have it in the right spot when you start moving. Before I go any further, I'm just gonna put some masking tape on the front side of the glass. That prevents chipping when you're coming through the glass, and it makes for a cleaner cut. Alright, for the next step in our process, the box is too big because I cut it too far to the left, which I totally did on purpose. No, I didn't do it on purpose, but in order to solve it, we're just going to trim the box a little bit with a miter saw, which is fine. No big deal. It was obnoxiously big anyway, and it'll sit in the corner nice. So we're going to cut this box real quick, then we'll get to the plumbing. Need to cut off. I didn't really get any good shots of the plumbing, so I speeded this part of the video up. It's just me basically starting the measurements and cutting the PVC with a miter saw. And you'll see me place a couple of pipes in place here, you know, as I'm laying it out. And this is tedious stuff. It took me about 2 hours, so I'm just going to cut straight down to the part where I'm done plumbing. Alright, we are done. Here's the overbox installed, overflow box installed. 3/4 lock line reduces to 1/2 inch, and I have 2 separate returns coming. Okay, so let's go to the return line, all hard plumbed. You have a check valve right here with 2 unions on it. Okay, so that will disconnect here, coming down 45 to another union over here. Here's my return pump on the bottom, threaded, so I'm going to do soft PVC line, which I have over there, you can see it, to connect to the pump, which is a high door pump. Alright, now on the return side, you see we have 2 unions here, going to a gate valve for the main return, and then which is going to be a Dursa, by the way. I just didn't order the piece, I forgot, so I'm going to make this a Dursa overflow. Here's the emergency, which doesn't have a gate on it, but it does have a union. Comes down through to the other one. Everything is hard plumbed all the way through, and I am very happy. So let's fill this thing up and check for leaks. All right, now the fun part. So everything is plumbed, the tank is filled. This is actually 24 hours later, after cleaning up the mess I made in the house and getting more water, filling the tank up. And I don't know how observant you guys are, but you see that little sign right there. That's right, you got the apex as well, which you see is up right there. We're gonna run through that. First, let's go through the plumbing. So as you see, the tank is much more open now. It's wide open. The overflow is giving a tremendous amount of flow. It's 1,000 gallons per hour turnover. And you see it at work here. Here's the plumbing installed, no leaks, everything worked out perfect. There's the overflow. It's a little bit noisy right now because I don't have the Dursa set up on it yet. So the main 1.5 inch bulkhead that's draining from the tank into the overflow in the back is pouring in like a waterfall. So once the Dursa is installed, it's going to raise this water level up and silence that feed. But I personally don't mind. I love that sound. It puts me to sleep when I'm laying down and hanging out in the living room. So let's get underneath. I didn't show you guys this yet. First off, I took the old light from this tank and I modified it. Put it up top here. I took it out of its case, as you see, for the purposes of a light for the sump. So I got the high door DC 600 skimmer, which right now I'm just running it just to break it in. I have it at the white pump up top is the high door, and it is at 60% right now. As you see, I have the recirculating CO2 scrubber, and if you look at these numbers now, you see the pH is at 8.38, which is beautiful. And my apex is set up, which is exactly what I was telling you guys I wanted to do. The whole point of this was that if you see, I click on my skimmer and you'll see the command here is if pH goes to 8.4, then off. So this basically controls my pH. As soon as it starts dropping below 8.4, it kicks on. So it's basically going to keep my pH high all the time. So very happy with that. But this is a full shot of the filtration. Right now I'm floating a carbon bag right to where the return pump is, and that's just to clear up the water. It's a little bit cloudy, you can't tell from this, but that's pretty much it. So the Kessel I hard mounted to the wall, so it makes for a super clean setup. I already have my automatic water change system set up. This sump, which is the Fiji 15, comes with probe holders, so I got all my probes in there. I have and it comes with dosing line holders as well, so that is also set up. So everything is beautiful. As you see, I got my salt and my fresh is perfect, ready to go. I got my Davy Jones locker in the same spot, and the line I drilled a hole into the sump going into the back. So this tank is starting to get interesting. It's fully cycled, but I'm going to do one more dose of ammonia just in case I killed off any of the biological filtration when this stuff was all sitting in its tank in the garbage can, you know, just to be safe. And next week we're going to add some clownfish. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. A lot got done, and this tank is ready to rock and roll now. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. This was a long one. I appreciate it if you guys stuck around this whole time. And see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. See you soon.